Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to the Thursday, March 21st, 2024 Public Works meeting. And today we call to order, we have our roll call. We've got Councilmember Jefferson, Councilmember Althauser, and myself, Councilmember Swarthout present. So next we need to approve the minutes from the February 22nd, 2024 meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, now with that, we're going to hear from Bill Landauer, an update on the project on Interstate 5, Trosper Road, Capitol Boulevard reconfiguration project update. Take it away, Bill.
All right.
Good morning.
All right. Good morning, council members. I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let's see, where are we? I'm going to move this over. There we go. All right. Can everybody see that? Is it showing up?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, very good. So, good morning, council members. I'm here today to talk about the I-5 Trosper Road, Capitol Boulevard reconfiguration project. And this is really a construction update. It doesn't have any action attached to it. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of see where we are today and what we have planned to finish this project up. I do have Colby Fletcher, our construction manager, on the meeting today, just in case we get into any questions, he might be able to answer it a little bit better. So I wanted to start with just a quick project overview for anybody who's not completely familiar with what all we're doing here. This exhibit here shows all the grayed out areas are improvement limits for the project. One thing that isn't shown on here is that everything within the improvement limits, the utilities, that would include the water, sewer, storm, and also the underground utilities. So we're going to underground all the overhead utilities. All of that's being restored completely within the project limits. So that will all be brand new when we're finished. So starting there on the southern side, we're doing a reconstruction of Lee Street. So that's an overlay of Lee Street and some minor storm drainage improvements. We're punching a new road from Lee Street to Trosper Road. That's 6th Avenue. There'll be a new roundabout on 6th Avenue, which will serve the northbound on and off ramps, realigning the ramps as well to get those to tie into the roundabout. And up on Trosper Road, we have the Trosper and 6th roundabout, which is brand new, and also the Capitol and Trosper roundabout. And then full improvements along Trosper Road from the bridge deck all the way to Capitol Boulevard. And then we're also completing that little spur to the right of the exhibit you see that ties into Linda Street, that comes off Trosper Road to Linda. That the Trosper Road extension, that's basically brand new, along with improvements that we're doing for Linda Street. So overall, the project, pretty extensive project, confined to this one very busy area in the city of Tumwater. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what kind of progress we've made so far on the project. Oops. Oh, sorry. So our progress to date. So the project has been going on since January of 2023. So we've been in construction, I think, for around 15 months now. Probably the big success for the project is the fact that we're completed with the underground work. So currently for our utilities, we've installed about 1,560 feet of sanitary sewer line, mostly down Capitol. That's all brand new. That was a replacement of an old dilapidated system. We've replaced the water system, which is about 3,250 feet. Replaced storm drainage system, including accounting for water quality and quantity control for portions of the project. That's about 4,020 feet. and also our joint utility trench, which is the underground utility trench that converted the overhead to underground. That includes not only PSE, but also Comcast, Lumen, and other utilities, and that's about 1,550 feet. So we're pretty much done with our utilities. We still have connections and, raising final surface components to grade once paving's done, but that's pretty much finished. For the roadway component, the big one was we completed the 6th Avenue connector. So that's the road that connects Lee Street to Trosper Road. And we also have the 6th Avenue northbound I-5 ramp roundabout substantially complete. So that is fully functional right now, taking traffic. We completed the Trosper Road and 6th Avenue roundabout. That was recently completed that. Along with that a little component of the northbound on-ramp on the north side of Capitol Boulevard. That is substantially complete as well, and it's taking traffic right now. The WashDOT northbound on and off ramps, those are functional at this point. We have quite a bit of work that's been completed on Linda Street and the Trosper Road extension. Really, just some fine tuning and final paving to complete those portions of the project. And the Lee Street reconstruction is finished as well. And we constructed the stormwater pond. So as you can see, in the last 15 months, the contractor ACI Construction has been very busy and has done a very good job at finishing up the things that we need to move this project forward. I wanted to share with you some photos because photos are always kind of the thing that kind of brings us together. This photo is the roundabout. This is the Trosper Road and 6th Avenue roundabout. The left side kind of shows that it was very difficult to build this roundabout because of the grade changes. So the left side kind of shows how with the beginning of construction, and the right side shows the roundabout looking west. And as you can see, there's temporary striping in there. The roundabout central island's built, sidewalks are completed, beacons are in place for pedestrians, so it's very far along to be completed. This is the roundabout at 6th Avenue and the I-5 northbound ramps. Again, the picture on the left is a construction photo, and the thing to note is the grade difference between the new roundabout and then the existing ramps was quite a bit. And that was a construction staging issue that we had to deal with. The contractor did a great job on coming up with different solutions to solve that problem. We built the roundabout in halves in order to make that work. And on the right, you can see our final roundabout, which in my opinion looks pretty good out there. So that roundabout turned out really well. This is a picture of the.
Bill, can I ask a question about that previous photo, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
So for the grade of the roundabout as it approaches the road there, it looks like you're potentially able to drive up onto it. That was a feature that we selected in part so that emergency vehicles could breach that if they needed to. Is that right? Because there's a lot of the other roundabouts, I don't know if grade separated is the right word, but there's effectively a curb or some sort of structure to where you can't really drive onto them. But it looks like from the photo, you're able to do that with this particular structure.
Yeah, this particular one has a larger truck apron, which in the center, on the picture on the right, you can see the bark in the middle. That's the non-drivable section. And then the concrete piece that comes out from it is the actual truck apron. And typically cars don't get on the truck apron. They'll just stay on the asphalt. The truck apron is a little bit bigger to help accommodate the trucks coming off the freeway, off and onto the freeway. So trucks can drive. Okay. Trucks can drive on that. They can track on it, and it won't damage it over time.
Okay, okay. And like if we had a fire truck that needed to use it and it was a little bit tight, like if there was traffic in both those lanes that was stopped because they heard a siren, they would be able to enter onto the truck apron because it's basically at grade.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. It's a little bit higher. It's a couple inches higher.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Um, the northbound on and off ramps, the photo on the left, I mean, the thing to remember about the northbound on and off ramps is we had to remove the entire ramp, both ramps in order to build the new ramps. Hence the reason why we went towards an actual closure for that work. We did do a 10-day closure for that work, and the contractor was able to grade out and finish the ramps within that time frame. It's a great example of why of the benefits of a road closure, because we did have to close the ramps for a short period of time, but from a cost savings and a time savings, it was completed very quickly. The inconvenience to the public was reduced to a very significant, specific time, and it was done. It was open to traffic the last day that they worked on it. And the oh the picture on the right just shows kind of the ramp in the distance. But they did a great job on both those ramps, constructing those out. This picture shows the stormwater pond on the left, which is our city-owned stormwater pond. It's within city right-of-way. We have a black chain link fence, security fence that goes all the way around the pond, and also a very nice access road that goes into the pond so that maintenance folks can get in there and do the work that they need to do to maintain it. Picture on the right is our 6th Avenue roadway, the brand new road that we constructed, kind of looking towards the roundabout. And then this is a quick picture of Linda Street, but kind of by the Burger King. That roadway is it's more of a driveway access community road that runs in between along that frontage. It has a driveway approach off of Capitol, and then there'll be parking. Once it's striped out, there'll be a lot of parking all the way along the north side of that road. And the right picture is really just kind of where Capitol Boulevard and Trosper Road intersection is at this point. So that's our next thing to tackle, which I'll talk about here in a minute. So as far as what's next to finish the project, our biggest milestone that we have is Capitol Boulevard Trosper Roundabout. So that's the next thing that the contractor's focusing on. That component of the project, the contractor's looking at the May-June timeframe to actually finish that up. Or April, May, probably. They're starting to work on it right now. And obviously the most complicated component of that roundabout is constructing the central island, because that'll require some lane shifts and some other things to occur in order to keep traffic moving through that area while that work's being conducted. We have some final concrete work. However, about 90% of the concrete work is complete to date. Most of the remaining concrete work, the sidewalks, curb and gutter, things like that, is all kind of specific to the Capitol Boulevard Trosper Road roundabout. We have, like I said, some cleanup work and some final things to complete on Linda Street frontage, and also the Trosper Road extension. Final asphalt paving operation, which is really the paving along Trosper Road and up and down Capitol Boulevard. That's going to be where we do our final lift of asphalt paving. That's the final lift. That work will more than likely be scheduled for night work, and it probably will occur within the next month or two. And then our final project work, which is really just our general cleanup, final, illumination, landscaping, cleaning up the project site and things like that. So we don't have a lot of work left. Right now, I think we're tracking it probably about 80% complete on the total project. So as far as project schedule, as I mentioned, the project started in January of 23. We were expecting to be completed around mid 2024. So currently we are on schedule with getting the project completed. So our substantial completion right now, we're estimating around July of this year. That basically means that the improvements are operational and that they're safe. So the vehicles could still utilize the roadway, but there might be some things left to do. Our actual physical complete, oh, go ahead. Oh, that's somebody saying something. Our physical completion, which is when all construction is completed, we're expecting around September of 2024. And then our actual project completion date, that's basically when all of the documentation and everything has been completed and we can close the project out. We're expecting around the end of this year. For our project budget, active construction, bid the project at $12,150,150. Our current cost estimate is running about 6% over the bid. So we do projections during the course of the project. And this really it becomes a little complicated because we work a unit bid price. So we work overs and unders on each item, you know, whether it's some items cost a little more and some items cost a little bit less. But we usually go through every month and kind of evaluate where we are on the project. Like I said, right now we're looking at about 6% over. That 6% overage is kind of a combination of multiple things. A lot of it has been just unforeseen conditions that we found during the course of the project, really in the utility construction component. There have been some design changes that we've had to deal with. So we've had to take care of that. And there's been some other choices on adding or adjusting specific components of the project that have been a definite benefit to the city. So we've done kind of all three of those things at once. So we are at about 6%. It looks like our projected construction range, just based on our projections out for the next couple of months. Again, that's just a projection, but we're looking at something around 18 to 13% over the bid by the time we're finished. Oh, go ahead.
Just a brief question about that. And in terms of our funding to pay for extra costs that were above the bid, we also build in contingency into the project budget, correct? Isn't that usually like 10 to 15% or something like that?
Yeah, typically we like to hold it at 10% or below. Is normally what our goal is. If we do go over the 10% and it wasn't authorized previously, then we do have to go back and inform council that we're over the 10%.
Okay. So if we go over 10, does council, is that something we would have to vote on, or is that something that we would just receive information about?
My understanding is you have to vote on it or authorize it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So we'll prepare that. If it looks like that's where we're gonna go, we'll send that through the system when the time is right. So that was the completion of my presentation. I am going to stop my screen share if I can find it. Where is it?
While he's
Hey,
doing
Bill,
that,
before you do.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was wondering, could you go back to the one that had all the roundabouts on it, please? The drawing or yeah. Okay, so we're done with, okay, so on 6th Ave, we're almost done with that, the first one, right? I was just wondering how many of the roundabouts look like they're almost completed then. So it looks like we have
Yeah.
the one on 6th Ave that looks like that one's done, right? Or
Yeah, that one is substantially complete, along with this
Okay.
about here.
that one too. Okay, I haven't been
Yes.
on. And then the
So-
other one, yeah, that one's scooting along too. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I was just curious.
this is the last one for the next couple
Okay.
of months they'll be focusing on.
Okay, thank you. I need to see that again.
If I could jump in real quick, I apologize. I was having technical difficulties. So if I'm saying something that's already been said, feel free to stop me. But there's some people who have played a really critical role in this project, and I just want to point them out, specifically on Bill's team and Ann's team with communications. It's been a huge joint effort, and we've never had as significant of public outreach and public engagement, specifically for those that are in the project limits as we do now. And there's no way that our team could have done that without Ann's team. So Marnie McGrath specifically has been out knocking doors, shaking hands, talking to folks, working with businesses daily. And I've never seen that even when I was the construction manager at Thurston County. So it definitely huge kudos to Ann's team and then Bill's team. We've got two folks that have essentially lived on the project for lack of a better word, and that's David Mills, our primary inspector, been with the city for a long time, always volunteers for the worst jobs when it comes to projects, and again, he's been a huge link between the city and the contractor, developed good relationships, and he's making sure that we get a good product. And then Colby Fletcher's new to the city. He came as an engineer too, working on our projects, and he honestly has transformed our capital construction program. Brought a lot of experience from WashDOT, and we have promoted him to the city's construction engineer or construction manager, and he's going to be the primary lead for almost all city infrastructure projects going forward. So for those folks who I called out, this project would not be a success without them. And all the credit so far goes to Bill's team and Ann's team. Everybody in the city, all departments participate in some way, but that direct project team is why this is working out.
Yeah, I would mention too that from a teaming standpoint, that is the key to. I think the project's gone really well, and our communication and the way we've set it up, working with the contractor and Active Construction has been a very good teaming partner with this project. They have done a very good job. They have a great team that they brought on board to build the project. So just having really good, strong communication between dedicated people here at the city to work with the contractor on a regular basis, weekly meetings, making sure we know exactly what's going on. And then also, like Brandon said, I would consider a very robust public relations component to the project. I mean, like all things, there are things you live and learn and figure out kind of what works and what doesn't. But the way we set it up with a special hotline, updates on the website. We handed out business cards originally to people that showed them that had all the locations where they could get information. And then just having both the contractor and our inspectors knocking on doors all through construction, checking in with business owners on a regular basis to see if things are going okay, or letting them know what is coming up. Has been a big change and a great way to handle it, because these projects are uncomfortable for commuters. They just are, and they're uncomfortable for people who live next to the areas or who have businesses. And the best we can do is make sure that they know exactly what's going on during the project. And that makes them feel a lot better because they feel like, and they are involved in those projects, and making sure that we can do what we can to accommodate them as best we can throughout the project. So I think we've done a great job on that.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think getting into this project, we all knew that this was like probably the most technically complex project really the city has taken on in quite some time. And I think that the teams working on this have really risen to the challenge of making sure that we have those open lines of communication, that we are expressing, in very clear certain terms, like what things are going to look like and feel like to the public and to business owners. And, I'm certainly incredibly appreciative of that proactive effort and that outreach. I think that's just critical to making this a success. And then on the construction side, I mean, it's just so technically complex, especially with all the grading. I'm very impressed by the way that we've been able to sort of pivot and work in stride and, kind of meet those challenges. So I'd offer my compliments to both your team, Bill, as well as Ann's team for all the good work that's happened on this over the past year. It's I know it's not been easy, and I think that keeping the eye on the ball and being very focused and diligent and thoughtful about how to proceed will really pay dividends. And once this is done, I think that everyone in the city is just going to tremendously benefit from it. So
Yeah.
good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael. I echo that. It's interesting every time you go through how it changes. And I was kidding with Brandon because I thought, are we going to have like a ribbon cutting, for the roundabouts? And he's like, well, they're kind of already open, So I'm like, because I like to celebrate things. You all should be celebrated for all this work. And when it's finally done, do you break champagne over the middle of something? I don't know, but you guys have done an amazing job. And like I said, every time I go through, it's taken on it's being paved. Every time it changes. So I really appreciate that. So it's coming along.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, Angela.
I too think that there should be some type of official recognition. Just great demonstrated leadership and teamwork all around, communication. You guys did this right. This is the way to do things, and just an example of excellence. And just, I think that we should have some type of ribbon cutting and champagne bottles or, grape juice bottles or something, but you need to be officially recognized for sure.
Yeah.
Good job.
We will definitely.
Bill and Matt and Israel Road, you guys have been doing so much, and I just, to applaud your department and celebrate the teamwork that's been involved. So I think, we've got our administrator on board. I see here. Do you have some comments about how we're going to celebrate this?
Absolutely. I think, I've been so impressed from day one last June with the quality of the folks we have here at the city of Tumwater, and particularly how they work together, and really encouraged by that. And happy to be able to provide some information when, the first question asked is, when is the brewery going to be redeveloped? And then the next question is always, when are you going to be done with Capital and Trosper? So really happy to have the answers to those questions at this point, and we will definitely find a way to celebrate for sure. And I'll add my kudos to both Ann's team and Brandon's and Bill's. I think it's been a great project. It's really complicated, and it's been difficult. And I think they've done the best they could in those challenging circumstances. So I couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
Okay. Thank you. So if that's it, any other questions or comments?
No.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you, team. All right. Well, that's a good way to thank you guys. It's just amazing. On something I didn't think we'd ever see in our lifetime, and here we are, getting this thing almost done. So this is really amazing. So with that, do we have any other additional items to discuss today? All right. Okay. Well, with that, then I will call the Thursday, March 21st, 2024 Public Works meeting adjourned. Have a good day, guys.